Alright, today we're going to show you how to use some of the new machines in the new Voltz. One of the most annoying things I find about creative here is slime. Slime just drives me absolutely nuts. So I usually spawn a couple of iron golems when I start, and they keep the slime away from me. So, alright, here we go. This video will be about building a kill room, and this will provide you with essence and items. One of the most useful things about it in the new Voltz is getting gold. So instead of having to mine for gold, which seems to be pretty rare in this particular version, you can kill yourself some zombie pigmen and get some free gold that way. So here we go. First machine we'll need is the auto spawner. It's that guy, and we will need the grinder, and we will also need some power. So we'll use a cube for this video. Another video I'm going to make will show you how to make a power station that is very efficient. Let's see. Let's use some universal cable. That guy. Some of those. We're also going to build a tank. I think because a lot of people don't realize that you can build a dynamic tank in this flavor of Voltz, which is really neat, really handy. I'm also going to make it out of obsidian for this video. If you are if you are going to use it to spawn Enderman, you are going to definitely want to make it out of obsidian because Enderman can't move it. So let's just make our box real quick. So we're going to poke a hole on one side of it here, preferably in the middle, and throw the grinder in it. We're also going to need access to the side and bottom of that for some piping and power and all kinds of other stuff. The auto spawner is going to go right in the middle. And this is kind of a common misconception I see online. People say it's 5x5 in front of the spawner, but it is actually one of the few machines. This and the sewers are the only machines in here that are 5x5 around it and not in front of it. The grinder is a 5x5 square in front of it. I think the planter is the only other one I can think of that's the same way. So anyway, so we need power for both of these. We are also going to need some piping. I'll explain that in a minute. So let's throw some power in here. And we're just going to throw that down there. That'll last us a while, so I don't have to worry about that. Okay. Now, if you've never seen inside these machines, the first one is a liquid chamber, and this is for essence, which is the essence like XP almost. This is energy, which means that we've got power because that's full. Work, it's not doing any work because there's nothing in there to kill, and it's just ticking along because, again, there's nothing to kill. This same exact thing. The only difference is this has a spot for a safari net with something in it. So that's what I will show you now. So for the purposes of this video, I'm going to spawn a zombie pigman. Obviously, you can just go to the nether and grab one. It's not that difficult. So you need a reusable safari net. It's the only thing that works in this machine. You also need a safari net launcher, I believe. I'm going to spawn him. We're going to take the launcher, and you're going to shift right click to change it to capture mode. You can see that it changes down there. And then just going to right click on him, and it pops on the ground. So now we can see we have a safari net with a zombie pigman in it. So now we're going to go ahead and put that in here. Now, when that gets full of essence, we're going to start spawning zombie pigmen. So keep in mind that it's going to be a little hectic in here once stuff starts spawning. So what we're going to do real quick is piping there, and this one as well. Okay, and there's a hole there, and there's actually a mod in this version of Voltz that will show you, or that you can make panels. It's actually pretty neat. We can show that real quick. There's this hacksaw right here. So if you put this hacksaw in with some obsidian into your crafting table or into your inventory, which I have to turn off creative mode to get to. That's buggy. Alright, well, let's try a crafting table. And so we can cut it in half. Then we can take that and cut it in half again. And then we can take that and cut it in half again. And now you've got a cover. And you can take that cover and do some pretty neat stuff with it. I use it to cover up wires and things like that. And it's not perfect, but it works pretty good. Let's turn creative mode back on. And switch off this stuff. We'll get rid of this. It's kind of neat. You can throw it on the floor, and it helps. These cables and pipes are a little bit buggy, so sometimes the pigmen, or if you're doing a sheep farm or a cow farm or something like that, they end up going down through it. So it's not always helpful. But if you put these panels down, sometimes you can avoid that. I'm not going to here, just so we can see the stuff flowing through it. So we'll get rid of all of this. Let's go back down here. And we're going to make a tank over here. So now the dynamic tank, I didn't know this was in the game for a little while. I just recently found it. A friend of mine showed me how to use it. Normally when you make a tank, there we go, you see that? So when it's actually done, you'll see it all pop like that. And now we can see inside. So that's cool. So it looks like it's kind of like the ME stuff. You need to make like the ME crafting CPU. You just need to make the outsides. Yeah. So it's just the frame on the outside. So you can make the sides and the top all clear, so you can see what's in there. We're gonna make an in and an out here. I do not believe it matters which is in and out, but they can't be the same. So you can't use both as in or out. Or I'm sorry, you can't use one as an in and an out. So we will make that. That's close enough. Okay. And I'm actually going to move this over here so that they're not touching. Don't need that. And put that back. And what we'll do here is disconnect that from there. And that way it has to go into the tank. And that way I can control it sort of on or off based on how much liquid is going in and out of there. Most of these machines you can also use a redstone circuit to turn them on and off if you wanted to. But obviously that one's a little bit more difficult to get to because of all the tubes in and out of it. So it's just easier to use the tubes themselves to control it. Alright, so now we want to put a chest in front of this as well. Otherwise it just sort of spits the items out, and sometimes they get lost if there's too many. Obviously if it sits on the ground for a while, it's going to go away. You can just do this, or you can do it the long way. Either way works. We'll just do the one for now. So let's see, we got power, and looks like everything is set up. So now we will throw some stuff in it. Let's see. So I'm going to need essence. So the way to get this inside of Voltz is to create yourself a sheep or a cow farm, with a breeder, and I'll show you that in another video. But the byproduct of that farm is essence, and also if you need wool or leather or any of that, obviously that's a nice side effect too. But more important than anything else is the essence, because you use that for a lot of different machines in this game. So that would be how you feed this machine, because this machine requires essence. This one also gives you essence, but not enough to provide this machine with enough to keep spawning. So basically you run out eventually. But the way we can kind of get around that in this video is to spawn our own. So we are going to spawn some zombie pigmen, and what I'm going to do is turn this off so we can see this tank fill up. So you see you just get killed automatically, and didn't really use any power, and there's a little bit of mob essence in there, so about 100 millibars per mob. We can just keep doing this. Usually what I do to spawn a whole bunch at a time is go right out to the middle here. And just kind of pushes them off so that I don't have to keep moving around. Another way you can do this too, obviously you can't do this in the game, but just for the purposes of making a video or testing it out, this is fairly effective. So we can get in here, now that they're all gone, and make a dispenser. Throw a button on it or make a redstone circuit, either way, it doesn't really matter. You can do it so fast it doesn't really matter. Okay, so now that we've got a bunch killed, we can go back over here and voila, essence. And this whole tank will hold quite a bit. I mean, 4,400 millibars is quite a bit of essence, and you'll see that that will actually spawn quite a few zombie pigmen. And you can see we're starting to get a collection of gold here. The rotten flesh is also good if you're doing a warfare server. It's also good to make chemical bombs. So obviously those are my favorite because I have one of these in my base. You can also import this in the ME, put it in the crafting CPU, and make gold bars, something like that. So now we're going to reconnect this and show you how it works. So pretend like we had, instead of just this pipe, we had another farm there with a grinder creating essence for us. Ideally this would continue forever. So, almost forgot an important part here, the configurator, which needs to be charged. Is the only other thing you need. On the exit pipe, you're going to want to shift, right click it, and change that to red, and that's going to start dumping essence, which for some reason you can't see. I don't know if that's a bug or if it's designed to be that way, but you can see now it is spawning zombie pigmen. And eventually we will run our tank down to nothing. You can see now it's empty, and it's slowly trickling in, just for the last few here, but eventually it's going to run out. And that's why you need a cow or sheep farm. And we'll just see how far along we get here. There's my iron golem doing his job. Once in a while you get one that spawns outside. I generally will go, in-game I should say, I'll go 7x7 around that auto spawner, just because it's kind of buggy sometimes where they spawn. If they spawn right on the obsidian, they'll just pop outside, which is problematic when it's my base. So we're probably nearing the end here. Yeah, it's just about out of essence. We're just kind of trickling on the last little bit here. And that's it. And we can see our bounty here. We got all kinds of swords and gold and rotten flesh. The swords are interesting. You can use the auto disenchanter and take the enchantments off of these and put them on your own weapons, or just destroy them. I usually just destroy them because I've already taken what I needed. But some of these are actually pretty decent. Like that, I mean, it's good if you're gonna have a spider spawner. Yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I will be back and show you how to make that farm and a power station and some other good stuff. So stay tuned.